Hi everyone, and welcome back to the last video of our drawing lecture for remote teaching and remote trainings. In this last video, I would like to summarize all the topics that we have considered so far, and I would like to use the time for a brief reflection on what it's all about when it comes to drawing. So first of all, we had a brief discussion on the reasons why we are drawing. Maybe you remember I mentioned that it's better to start with the question, why do we want to do it, instead of asking which tools do exist. So we have discussed the benefits of drawing, where we have some obvious benefits, like we can use it for the elaboration of content, for visualization, and maybe to back up some discussion that we have with the audience. But aside of the obvious reasons, there are also some hidden reasons, like we can integrate the development of pictures for activation of participants, for anchoring of a topic, or just to simply make use of a change of medium, which also gives a kind of a break to a long PowerPoint session. The main aspect here in any way is that whenever you develop a drawing, that you're transporting a message. This is valid if you create a very fancy drawing, which communicates to the participants that you are prepared, you know what you're doing. It just shows your appreciation to the audience. But the same thing is also true for a messy drawing. So if you have a messy drawing which looks unprepared, or in the worst case, if it contributes to distraction, maybe this also transports a message. Not the one that you want to transport, but it does. So basically what we have to be aware of, that whenever you're creating some picture, you're communicating. This can be in a good way or in a not so good way. In any way, drawing is a mighty instrument of trainings. The main thing here is to make a conscious use of it. But aside of all the possibilities and the benefits of drawing, of course, it also comes for a price. And the main price here is time. So drawing can turn into some time-consuming aspect, which can bring you out of your agenda, makes you struggling. So whenever you want to make use of drawing, strive for efficiency. So this means to be able to draw efficiently, and also to be familiar with your tools, to not come into struggle when it comes to tool usage. And another tip here is try to avoid too many spontaneous drawings. I know it's very tempting just to go to the whiteboard and just draw a sketch or something like that, but there is value on the one hand, but on the other hand, it always comes with the risk that you end up in a picture that you didn't want to create, or you don't get the thing to paper that you want to show. So my suggestion here is to be prepared. Maybe you also come with a backlog of different drawings, which doesn't mean that you have to create all the drawings in a session. It's just good to know that you could make use of drawings for every topic. So some general hints for this topic is, as I mentioned before, make a conscious usage of drawing. This means know why you're drawing, what's the reason. Is it an activation? Is it an elaboration? So why do you draw, and at which time do you draw? So the best thing is that you plan drawings within the choreography of your whole training right in advance. And of course, when you draw, you should know what you're going to draw, so you know the picture, and you should know how to draw. Yeah? So, and of course, this all requires some level of preparation, which should be standard anyway. But in that particular case, my hint here is draft your pictures first. As I already mentioned, prepare a backlog of different drawings, prepare your personal vocabulary to have some flexibility, and of course also practice. Make yourselves familiar with the tools, make yourselves familiar with drawings. Just take care that you really feel comfortable when it comes to developing a picture for the audience. Yeah, then What we have also discussed is we separated two main scenarios. I called it the flip chart situation and the blackboard situation. Maybe there is a better terminology. That's just the one that came to my mind. And in the flip chart situation, we typically make use of graphical facilitation and sketch notes. So these are the topics that you could do some research if you're interested, if you want to learn more. There are plenty of tutorials and templates out there. It's a lot of fun and it's much more easy than it might look in the first view. So, and there we also considered some different digital drawing tools. But if you want, of course, with the pen and paper setup, you also could be fine if you prefer this one. And the second scenario is the blackboard situation, which is typically a scenario that we face in lectures on university or in school, where we would refer to digital writing tools. So we've considered OneNote, but plenty of others exist as well. And of course, if you want to, also the option of pen and paper exists. And as we have discussed in the last video, if you enable a setup or if you create your personal setup that enables you to work with pen and paper, then a second benefit here is that you can use the same setup for working with requisites when you want to show something to the audience, which helps to trigger a different sense than just the visual and the audio sense. Yeah, and finally, it always comes to the point of which tool should we choose. And we considered different classes of tools, and I also introduced some specific tools to you, so to enable you a quick start if you want to. But in the end, there is a plethora of tools available, and it's probably a matter of taste. And my two suggestions here are: select the one tool that helps you best achieving your goal, which of course means to know your goal. And the second thing is choose the one tool that you feel comfortable with. The more comfortable you are during a training or a lecture, the better is the quality of what you're presenting. Yeah, and the famous last words for this lecture, basically, well, keep in mind, drawing is a quick win. So just remember a situation where you are a participant in a seminar or something, and a trainer goes to the flip chart and creates a fancy picture. Then everyone is like, wow. Yeah. So it's an easy, achievable, quick win, which, especially in the beginning, can help to establish a positive mood in the whole classroom setting. And of course, this experience helps to activate the participants and maybe to also get them awake after a break or the lunch break or something like that. And I don't know if this happens to you as well. I sometimes experience that people in an on-site training come to me and say, how do you make these drawings? Where can we learn it? So it's, yeah, watching someone drawing is always a good thing. And of course, from the message that we transport, again, if you learn how to do it, then this shows that you put effort in your task, and it communicates that you do care for the audience, you do appreciate their participation, and you do value their time. Yeah, and the last things here, drawing is easy achievable, so it's not a big deal. You can learn it pretty fast and it's easy. And of course, drawing also makes fun, not only for the audience, but also for you as trainer. So, and basically that's it. Now we can close the topic of drawing. And after all that we've heard, that we learned so far, now we wanna switch the perspective, because up to now we have been discussing different concepts, how you can communicate as a trainer or a teacher to the audience. And in the next lecture, we wanna switch the perspective and we wanna take a closer look how we can integrate participants, how to enable their active participation by means of exercises, questionnaire, and stuff like that. So I hope you like the content so far. See you in the next lecture, where we start with considering how to make exercises in a remote scenario. See you there in the next video. Bye.